Thora Birch evolved from a child star to a bona fide star in the late 1990s and early 2000s, with many notable films like Hocus Pocus, Ghost World, American Beauty, and Patriot Games, just to name a few. An actress with a lot of talent and potential just disappeared from Hollywood, so what went wrong? Well, one rumor circulating is she has been banned owing to her father and management supposedly physically threatening a co-star, which immediately got her fired. Her father's intervention had gotten her fired more than once. He'd even demanded being present during her sex scenes. Birch went on to take a break from acting. She has recently returned to acting a little here and there. But Hollywood turned its back on her due to her father's antics. Considered one of the most important figures in the history of the film industry, Charlie Chaplin became a worldwide icon through his screen persona, the Tramp. His career spanned more than 75 years, from childhood in the Victorian era until a year before his death in 1977, and encompassed both adulation and controversy. The origin of the unofficial Hollywood blacklist has a sordid history. It arose as a result of Senator Joseph McCarthy's efforts to track out alleged communist spies and supporters in the United States in the 1940s and 50s. During this period, a task force known as the House Un-American Activities Committee staged hearings in which they accused hundreds of Americans of Communist Party membership. This resulted in a widespread blacklisting of accused parties, since film studios stood to lose a lot of money if their films included suspected communists or communist sympathizers. Because Charlie Chaplin refused to answer inquiries about his political beliefs, the FBI labeled him a Bolshevik and a potential security concern. His films drew criticism and were boycotted. Chaplin spent out the remainder of his life in Switzerland, and his films were widely boycotted for the following decade. When the political situation gradually changed, he was once again a revered cinematic legend. With just a tweet, everything came crumbling down for Roseanne Barr. Roseanne was a comedy mega-hit in the 1990s, and its legacy, along with her stand-up career, won her decades of notoriety and goodwill. Roseanne has always been vocal, has never shied away from political topics, and has maintained her tough, working-class persona. Her May 2018 Twitter rants put her in a lot of trouble when she wrote a racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett, a senior advisor to former President Barack Obama. Calling him a Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby. Also, she baselessly called a school shooting survivor a Nazi. Despite the fact that Barr eventually deleted the tweet and apologized, ABC canceled the Roseanne reboot the same day. With the company's president calling her words abhorrent, repulsive, and inconsistent with our values. Following her recent public scandal, it's difficult to see Barr getting many roles in the future. Sondra Locke made her film debut in the late 1960s and was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her first role in The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. For the next 2 decades, she appeared in a slew of films and even directed a few. She began dating A-list actor and director Clint Eastwood in 1975. Despite her initial happiness, her relationship with Eastwood would prove to be her career downfall. After the couple's messy divorce in 1989, she was effectively blacklisted from several of Hollywood's major studios. Most people feel Eastwood utilized his power to leave her out in the cold. Eastwood agreed to set her up with a development deal with Warner Brothers as part of their divorce settlement. Locke had been rejected by Warner Brothers 30 times in a row 5 years after their divorce, with not a single project come to light. Eastwood and Locke settled out of court for an unknown sum, so there's a good likelihood he had her blacklisted for years. When she did finally return to regular work, her career was never able to get back to where it once was. Vince Vaughn was one of Hollywood's hottest and most successful actors. He appeared in several classic comedy films and was well liked by fans for being a quick-witted and likable character. His blacklisting has been more subtle, owing mostly to his limited versatility as an actor and his political views. While there is nothing wrong with being a conservative, when you openly state that all schools should have guns to avoid mass shootings, studios may want to distance themselves from you. Rose McGowan is best known among her fans for her 5-year-long run on the TV series Charmed. She'd also star in Scream and Jawbreaker. She was young and talented, and it was logical to anticipate her career to progress only upward. Nonetheless, it abruptly halted in the late 1990s. While she hasn't always been an angel, making some offensive statements at times, McGowan didn't deserve to be blacklisted in the way she has. Harvey Weinstein assaulted her in 1997. He offered her $100,000 to remain quiet about the incident. While she hasn't always been an angel, making some offensive statements at times, McGowan didn't deserve to be blacklisted in the way she has. Harvey Weinstein sexually assaulted her in 1997. He offered her $100,000 to remain quiet about the incident, which she did to the general public, but she still spoke out about it to industry insiders. This prompted Weinstein to blacklist her, and because of his power in the business, the blacklisting persisted. He buried the films in which she has appeared. It's been a long time since McGowan has been given a leading part in a major film. Monique Angela Hick is a stand-up comedian and actress best known for her role as Nicole Nikki Parker in the UPN sitcom The Parkers, which aired from 1999 to 2004. Monique's breakthrough came in 2009 when her performance as an abusive mother in Lee Daniels' film Precious earned her critical acclaim and an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. However, Monique's film and television jobs have mostly slowed down since her major win for Precious, and the actress said in a 2015 interview with The Hollywood Reporter that this was due to how she handled the 2010 Oscar campaign for Precious. According to Monique, Precious director Lee Daniels confirmed as much to her in a phone call, stating that Hollywood had blackballed her because she didn't play the game. Daniels later verified Monique's viewpoint, saying, her demands via Precious were not always in line with the campaign. This strained her connection with the Hollywood elite. Mel Gibson is still largely blacklisted from Hollywood screens, despite making a successful return as a filmmaker with Hacksaw Ridge in 2016. Throughout the 1980s, 1990s, and 2000s, Gibson was an extremely successful and popular actor and director starring in great films like Braveheart, Mad Max, Lethal Weapon, and the controversial film directed by him The Passion of the Christ. Gibson, on the other hand, had several highly public outbursts that harmed his career beyond repair. Following a drunk driving incident, he went on a massive anti-Semitic rant that made international headlines. After then, things slowed down for Gibson, but it wasn't until another incident in 2010 that everything came to a standstill. He was heard leaving a message for his then-partner Oksana Grigorieva, which he said some unpleasant things. The transcript can be found online. It is not appealing. His roles have dried up significantly since then. Brendan Fraser was a big star in the late 1990s and early 2000s, featuring in movies like Bedazzled and The Mummy. However, Fraser's roles became less frequent as the 2000s progressed, and the actor attributes his blacklisting to an interaction with the previous head of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, Philip Birch. Fraser claims that in 2003, at the Beverly Hills Hotel, he was assaulted by Birch. Furthermore, he believes that he was blacklisted from Hollywood because he refused the unsolicited approach. The event happened around the same time Fraser was dealing with some difficult personal issues, but he feels it was a big influence in his Hollywood downfall. Stacey Dash is best recognized for her role in the film and television series Clueless. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, her career was on par with that of a young 1990s television star. However, she is now mostly known for her extremely divisive beliefs. Dash openly voted for Barack Obama in 2008, but between 2008 and 2012, she underwent a drastic turn and became quite vocal about her conservative beliefs. Again, there is nothing wrong with having conservative views, but many of her more extreme views rubbed the public and potential employers the wrong way, like when she called for an end to Black History Month, which got her fired from Fox. In 2016, she made controversial remarks concerning transgender people, landing her in hot water with Hollywood's frequently liberal ideals. also going as far as to refer to teenage sexual assault victims as bad girls who like to be naughty, and stating that climate change does not exist. And stated that Planned Parenthood has a hidden objective of mass murder. These radical ideas, and her unwillingness to keep them to herself, are most certainly the reason she no longer gets major jobs. Once a talented actor and one of the highest-paid TV actors on the planet, Charlie Sheen was a household name for decades due to his role in films like Platoon and Wall Street, and later in sitcom comedies such as Spin City and 2.5 Men. Sheen's departure from 2.5 Men was precipitated by repeated battles with substance abuse, which forced him and the studio to part ways. Sheen is now mostly remembered for his drug-induced and public freakout. He famously claimed to be a warlock with tiger blood and Adonis DNA, and that he was winning. Also, sexual assault allegations have recently plagued him, and have some questionable views. While he has worked a little since then, most companies still avoid Sheen and his crazy antics. Katherine Heigl was a leading lady who was in high demand for a variety of roles just a few years ago. Starring in Roswell, Grey's Anatomy, Knocked Up, and 27 Dresses, now she hasn't been acting in any high-profile roles recently. Heigl is said to be extremely difficult to work with and an utter nightmare to deal with. Some of the many accusations about her in Hollywood include questioning scripts, refusing to leave her trailer, and ridiculous wardrobe. Her complaining about catering, among other things, makes her less than desirable hiring. Too many, she's simply not worth it.